In boxing, styles don't just clash, they expose truth. Pressure tests patience, power tests discipline, and timing reveals everything. Today, we're breaking down a fight that brings all of that into focus. Naoya Inouye versus Picasso. One is an elite finisher, a master of timing and efficiency, widely regarded as one of the most complete fighters in the world. The other is a young, aggressive pressure fighter, big for the weight, relentless, and built to turn fights into wars. This isn't just a matchup of records, it's a matchup of philosophies. Can pressure overwhelm precision? Or does timing always find its moment? Let's break it down. Naoya Inouye, complete strengths and weaknesses. Naoya Inouye is a fighter defined by control. He brings measured, intelligent pressure, elite timing, and some of the most ruthless finishing instincts in modern boxing. While he can occasionally grow overconfident and choose to remain in the pocket longer than necessary, that same confidence is also what allows him to dominate exchanges and impose his will. Overall, Inoue is one of the most complete fighters in the sport, combining power, precision, intelligence, and composure at the highest level. At the foundation of Inouye's greatness is his composure under fire. Even when dropped or hurt, he remains calm and collected, refusing to abandon structure or discipline. High-pressure moments do not rattle him. Instead, he maintains clarity, quickly stabilizes himself, and resumes executing his game plan. This ability to stay mentally intact during chaos is one of the clearest markers of an elite fighter. Inouye's jab is world-class. It is sharp, authoritative, and versatile, used not only to score but to dictate range and disrupt rhythm. He sets the distance with it, forces reactions, and uses it to open up far more damaging shots behind it. The jab is the engine that drives his offense and allows him to control the geography of the ring. Few fighters in the world attack the body as viciously or as intelligently as Inoue. His body shots, particularly his liver punches, are devastating and have proven especially effective against southpaws. These attacks repeatedly collapse guards, drain energy, and erode resistance. Inoue does not throw body shots to look busy. He throws them to end fights. Over time, these punches slow opponents physically and mentally, setting the stage for brutal finishes. Inouye's knockout power is elite, compact, and efficient. His mechanics are clean, generating torque through proper technique rather than wasted motion. This allows his power to carry up through weight classes. His fight-ending shots come in many forms, crushing right hands, short left hooks, tight uppercuts, and crippling body punches. He does not need wide swings to hurt opponents. His power is delivered through precision and economy. That power is amplified by explosive hand speed and accuracy. Inouye's punches land before opponents can react, turning raw power into a finishing weapon. His accuracy ensures that every clean shot has maximum effect, accelerating damage and reducing the need for excess volume. One of Inouye's most destructive qualities is his ability to convert seamlessly between head and body attacks. Opponents are forced into a dilemma with no good answer. Protect the head, and the body is broken down. Protect the body, and the chin is exposed. This multi-level offense steadily removes defensive options and breaks fighters both physically and mentally. Inouye's balance and footwork allow him to generate devastating power even in short range. Whether in the clinch or against the ropes, he maintains stability and positioning, enabling him to punch with authority in tight spaces. His quick feet and excellent balance keep him perpetually ready to strike or defend, ensuring he is rarely caught off position. His positional timing is elite. Inoue excels at feinting, pattern recognition, and luring opponents forward into counters. Rather than chasing shots, he often allows opponents to walk directly into punishment, making aggression against him costly. Inoue also possesses a high-level ring IQ and an exceptional ability to adjust. He reads opponents mid-round, identifies tendencies, and alters tactics effectively. He is not rigid in his approach and can switch between boxing and pressure as the fight demands. While he is capable of boxing on the outside, Inoue prefers to come forward. He is most comfortable pressing the action, dictating range, and controlling tempo. His most dangerous range is mid-distance, where he achieves full extension on his punches, maximizing both speed and power. When Inoue senses vulnerability, his finishing instinct is cold-blooded. He does not rush or waste shots. His aggression becomes relentless but efficient, allowing him to close fights decisively without gassing himself. This ability to accelerate at the right moment separates him from fighters who rely purely on volume or emotion. Another important advantage is his extensive experience against southpaws. Inoue is comfortable, confident, and proven against elite left-handers, removing one of the most common stylistic obstacles in boxing. Despite his completeness, Inoue does have vulnerabilities. One recurring defensive habit is his tendency to drop his lead hand at close range. This has been the reason he has been dropped before, and creates openings for left hooks and sharp counters. Similarly, when he commits heavily to offense, he can drop the opposite hand, overcommitting on entries and leaving counter windows. Analysts consistently point to this as his most exploitable flaw. When attacking the body, Inoue sometimes lowers his guard, making him vulnerable during the moment he digs shots into the midsection. He has also been clipped and disrupted by sharp, disciplined jabs, particularly early in fights before he fully establishes timing. Inoue can be caught on the way in by well-timed straight counters, and occasional lapses in concentration, especially when showboating, have led to brief defensive breakdowns. The classic orthodox vulnerability to a counter left hook, particularly as he steps in or exits exchanges, remains a consistent risk zone in his style. Finally, Inoue can occasionally overcommit and expose himself on the exit. After throwing combinations, he sometimes retreats with his hands down, leaving counter opportunities if an opponent is quick and disciplined enough to capitalize. Taken as a whole, Naoya Inouye is a remarkably complete fighter. His strengths vastly outweigh his weaknesses, but those weaknesses do exist, and at the elite level, even small flaws matter. What makes Inoue special is not that he is flawless, but that he understands his risks and is usually able to manage them through precision, timing, intelligence, and ruthless efficiency. When those elements align, he is one of the most dangerous fighters in the world. Alan Picasso, complete strengths and weaknesses breakdown. At his core, Alan Picasso is a pressure fighter in the traditional Mexican mold. He closes distance aggressively, applies constant forward pressure, and looks to impose himself physically from the opening bell. His style is built around volume, effort, and persistence rather than finesse. Picasso is very aggressive, almost always on the front foot, and his objective is simple: take space away from his opponent, deny them time to think, and force a fight fought at his pace. Work rate is the foundation of Picasso's game. His output is not incidental, it is a defining trait. He throws consistently, stays busy, and forces opponents to work every second they are in the ring with him. At super bantamweight, this kind of activity can win rounds on optics alone, particularly when opponents are unable or unwilling to make him pay for his aggression. Volume disguises technical flaws and creates the impression of control, and Picasso has used this to his advantage throughout his career. That work rate is fueled by effort and mentality. Picasso is a hard-working fighter who stays engaged even when the fight becomes difficult. He does not mentally disengage when hit clean, nor does he abandon pressure when exchanges go against him. This effort-based pressure is one of his most reliable assets, especially under bright lights, where grit and willingness to fight often separate contenders from pretenders. One of Picasso's most dangerous weapons is his commitment to body punching. He is a vicious body puncher who actively targets the midsection to slow opponents down and force them to lower their guard. Body shots are not a secondary option for him. They are central to how he creates openings upstairs. Over time, these attacks reduce movement, drain stamina, and make opponents increasingly stationary. Picasso is especially effective when he backs opponents onto the ropes. Once there, he likes to load up hooks and dig hard body shots, throwing with full leverage and intent. He favors sustained offensive sequences, attempting to overwhelm opponents with volume rather than single, isolated punches. His left hook is a key weapon in these exchanges, and he throws it freely to both the body and the head. Physically, Picasso is a big super bantamweight, and his size plays a role in his success. He is tall for the division, with usable reach that allows him to touch opponents early with jabs and straights when distance is managed properly. This size advantage can force shorter fighters to reset repeatedly and gives Picasso the ability to assert himself in the early rounds. He also has an early gear that is sometimes overlooked. Not all pressure fighters start fast, but Picasso has shown that he can be sharp and assertive early when he chooses to be. This allows him to bank rounds and place opponents in a position where they are forced to chase later, a dangerous scenario when combined with his steady output. Picasso's durability supports this style. He has a solid chin and does not panic when hit. He absorbs punishment and continues moving forward, trusting his toughness to carry him through exchanges. His high guard allows him to block some shots while advancing, giving him confidence to keep pressing even when taking clean punches. Offensively, Picasso possesses a decent jab that he uses primarily to push opponents backward and help him close range. On the inside, he has a solid uppercut that can be effective when opponents lean forward or attempt to smother him. He throws punches with full leverage, committing his weight behind shots to maximize damage. He also brings professional seasoning. With many rounds and situations behind him, Picasso is comfortable in chaos. He understands how to survive difficult moments, manage fatigue, and remain engaged deep into fights. He has proven capable of maintaining a real pace over 12 rounds, even when fights become physically demanding and messy. However, Picasso's strengths are inseparable from his weaknesses, and those weaknesses become magnified against elite opposition. One of the most significant issues in Picasso's game is defensive openness. His reliance on a high guard leads to a block and eat defensive style. While this allows him to keep pressing, it also means he absorbs a large number of clean shots while coming forward. Against a precise combination puncher, this approach is extremely dangerous, as damage accumulates quickly even if individual shots are partially blocked. Picasso can be caught with combinations when pressing in. His head movement is limited, and he often walks into multi-punch sequences while trying to impose pressure. This lack of upper body movement makes him hittable, particularly against fighters who punch in clusters rather than single shots. When attempting to evade punches, Picasso often uses a shuffling step backward rather than lateral movement. This linear retreat makes him easier to follow, cut off, and trap. He does not consistently create new angles, which allows skilled opponents to maintain pressure on him rather than being reset. Another recurring issue appears when Picasso commits fully to offense. Because he throws punches with full leverage, he can square up in exchanges, leaving himself open to counters. This makes him especially vulnerable to hooks and uppercuts, shots that are most dangerous when a fighter's stance becomes square or when they lean forward behind a high guard. Uppercuts are a particular concern. As Picasso presses forward and dips slightly behind his guard, openings appear down the middle. Against elite punchers, these moments are punished severely. While Picasso is effective moving forward, he is noticeably less efficient on the back foot. When forced to retreat, his structure breaks down, his output drops, and his defense becomes more porous. He is most dangerous when dictating terms. When reacting, his effectiveness declines. There are also questions about scalability at the highest level. Picasso does not appear to possess a single standout fight-changing weapon that demands immediate respect from elite opponents. Without one terrifying shot, top-level fighters can take calculated risks, particularly counterpunchers comfortable letting him come forward. Similarly, while his power is respectable, there is skepticism about whether it carries the same fight-ending threat against elite champions. Without the ability to deter, Picasso is forced into prolonged exposure, giving opponents more time to read him, time him, and punish mistakes. Fatigue can also surface in high-output, high-contact fights. While Picasso can continue functioning when tired, elite fighters exploit fatigue with sharper timing, body attacks, and traps. The difference between being busy and being effective becomes increasingly clear in the later rounds. At times, Picasso also fights within himself. There are moments where he appears capable of stepping on the gas and forcing an early conclusion, but chooses a safer, steadier pace. Against elite champions, missed opportunities matter. Fights at the top are often decided by moments seized or moments lost. Finally, Picasso's size advantage can turn into a liability if he cannot control distance. Height and reach only matter when opponents are kept at the end of punches. When crowded, his reach becomes irrelevant, and he is forced to fight in an uncomfortable in-between range. Not fully an outfighter, not fully an inside specialist. This is a dangerous place to live against elite problem solvers. Keys to victory. For Naoya Inouye, the path to victory is rooted in discipline and control. He must manage distance intelligently, using his jab to prevent Alan Picasso from settling into a rhythm. Timing Picasso's entries will be critical, not simply countering, but making every forward step costly. Inouye's body attack will be a decisive weapon. Consistent investment downstairs will sap Picasso's pressure and force defensive breakdowns later. Above all, Inoue must resist unnecessary exchanges early, limit moments of overconfidence, and allow the fight to unfold at a pace he controls. For Alan Picasso, victory requires urgency, volume, and discipline. He must start fast, apply pressure immediately, and commit to the body to disrupt Inouye's timing. Closing distance without absorbing clean combinations is essential. Picasso cannot afford to walk straight into counters all night. He must vary his entries, jab his way inside, and avoid getting stuck behind a static high guard. If he hopes to win, he needs to make the fight physically uncomfortable from the opening rounds and force Inoue into sustained exchanges where volume can influence momentum and scoring. How the fight goes. From the opening bell, Alan Picasso will look to assert himself. He will bring pressure early, close distance aggressively, and attack the body in an effort to disrupt Naoya Inouye's rhythm. Expect Picasso to start fast, using his size and work rate to test Inouye's composure and force him to engage. His goal will be to back Inoue toward the ropes, dig to the midsection, and create a grinding pace that turns the fight into a physical battle. But Inoue is one of the best fighters in the world at timing punches. Early in the fight, Inoue will blend aggression with counterpunching, maintaining range and holding Picasso at the end of his shots. Rather than retreating recklessly, he will use subtle footwork, a sharp jab, and positional awareness to manage distance. Picasso's forward momentum will be met with clean counters, quick slips, and precise punches that punish each committed entry. As the rounds progress, Inoue will begin to assert himself more consistently. He will punish Picasso's pressure with precision, slipping shots and firing back in combination. The high guard that Picasso relies on will slowly be dismantled, first through attacks to the arms and body, then through sharp shots upstairs once openings appear. Inouye's bodywork will be pivotal. Sustained attacks to the midsection will force Picasso to lower his hands, creating clean lanes to the head. While Inoue will box at times, similar to his measured approach against MJ, he will not hesitate to exchange when Picasso leaves openings while throwing with full commitment. As the fight moves into the second half, Inouye's control will become more pronounced. He will maintain range, fire hard combinations, and begin backing Picasso up more consistently. The jab will snap Picasso's head back, disrupt his balance, and reset exchanges on Inouye's terms. Body shots will continue to accumulate, slowing Picasso's feet and reducing the effectiveness of his pressure. Picasso will have moments. He is a big super bantamweight, and he will find success with body shots, particularly when Inoue retreats in straight lines or steps forward aggressively. His persistence and toughness will allow him to remain dangerous in spots, and his chin may enable him to survive heavy punishment. However, Inoue is likely to remain in control for the majority of the fight, managing distance, pace, and momentum. Over time, the cumulative damage will tell. If the weight cut proves difficult for Picasso, especially given the time away from the division, fatigue could set in late. Combined with sustained body punishment, this could open the door for a stoppage in the championship rounds. Final prediction. This is a fight where durability and pressure can keep things competitive early, but precision and efficiency decide the outcome. I'm torn between a late stoppage and a wide decision. Final prediction: Naoya Inouye by KO/TKO in rounds 9 to 12, with a wide unanimous decision as the secondary outcome if Picasso's toughness holds. At the elite level, pressure alone is rarely enough. Timing, control, and execution usually win, and those are Inouye's domains.